Hi there, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands, and this starts to become a daily vlog against my. It's not what I wanted, let me put it that way. This vlog is about what is happening after the elections we had last week, where Geert Wilders and his party became the biggest, and his party is the most far right-wing party in the Netherlands. And becoming the biggest doesn't mean that you have the majority in the parliament. It means that you have the initiative to form a coalition to try to become a majority coalition in the parliament. He gained 37 seats, and the parliament has 150 seats. And that has to do with the amount of parties we have here, and the threshold, which is pretty low, to gain a seat in the parliament as a party. It's very Dutch, but I need to say, I mean, I don't know anything different, but I do need to say that the amount of parties has been growing, and with it the division between the Dutch people, and with it also it becomes harder and harder to form a coalition. Because I think it is becoming harder in these days, but also because I think it is where we had 2 or 3 parties making a coalition when I was young. Now it is 3 or 4 parties. So the amount of parties makes it that it is less solid, so to speak. Which means that a cabinet, I have called it the government, but cabinet might fall. And then we will have elections again. That is why we had elections in the first place, because the last cabinet did fall. Okay, first, I will put down a link. In it, in Dutch, but there are subtitles, which is also very Dutch, English subtitles, where you can read more about what is going to happen in the next process. And I need to make a rectification, because I said that in the second phase, somebody will be appointed to facilitate the negotiations between the parties who want to form a coalition, a majority coalition or minority coalition, but that's normally not by choice. And that appointed person happens to be the prime minister to be, or what is likely to be the prime minister to be. Geert Wilders still wants to become prime minister, so probably he will be the appointed person. There was a recount of, yeah, I find it a bit amusing. There was a recount of 4 polling stations in one city, ordered by the current parliament, and for that they needed to come together on this Saturday. The order has been given, and the count has finished now, and there was a difference of 75 ballots. It seems that it gets counted twice in different ways, and that gave different numbers. It is also said that there was a difference between the people who signed in at the moment that they entered the ballot station and the amount of ballots. But we are talking about 75 ballots, hardly anything. And they brought it back from a difference of 75 to a difference of 4. From 4 ballots, they don't know where they're coming from, or the other way around. There should be 4 ballots more, but they aren't there. I can't remember what it was anymore. But yeah, that's what it is. I found it amusing yesterday when I saw it. What I think is less amusing is that I have a feeling that Geert Wilders is playing nice when he is in the building of the parliament. We call that het Binnenhof. But he is still pretty provocative. Already on a Tuesday, I didn't pick it up then, but he has been to a meeting in a town where they build or have built or are going to build a facility for asylum seekers. And that was a rapid decision, and it was because another facility was overflowing. Means that they needed to go somewhere, someplace, and they went to that town. Some of the residents living in the neighborhood, and I don't know if it's some or a lot, but they didn't like it. And Geert Wilders went there to support them. And that's a pretty provocative thing to do. As it is also provocative there was a demonstration in Amsterdam, not a large one, against Geert Wilders. And he called them names. I can't even translate it. I wouldn't know how, never mind. But my worry is that whatever is going to happen in the next few months is going to have a negative impact on the Dutch society. And I think that is something that becomes more clear. I think that the division between parties only become more. And Geert is still speaking his mind, but he may, as long as he doesn't become ad hominem. But outside those walls, he shows more of the Geert Wilders he used to be for 17 years. And a lot of people suspect that he is not reliable in that way. I would like to see a cabinet, a majority of a coalition majority in the parliament with Geert Wilders, because I think that this has been coming for years and decades. 17 years at least. And we are here now. And I think that the only way out is when a coalition gets formed. But I start to believe less and less in it, because both ways, whether there will be no coalition, and some commentators are very sure that that Geert Wilders can't make that coalition happen. But whether there will be a coalition or not, it doesn't seem to matter. If he is not willing to start to act like a prime minister, a bit above the parties, because you need to lead the cabinet, then I think you should not let yourself become this provocative, as if you are still trying to win votes. And talking about winning votes, there has been a poll, and in that poll, and a lot of people who voted for the VVD, which has been the biggest party in the last 13 years, and has delivered the Prime Minister. His name was Mark Rutte, but he drew back, he withdrew, and somebody else has taken over the leading position. And she announced that she doesn't want to participate in a coalition because they already lost almost a third of their seats, went from 34 to 24, and she felt it was not her place to be in a coalition, but she is willing to support it, which means that you don't supporting can mean anything, but if you want to formalize it, you put something on paper, and it means that you are going to support certain points out of what the coalition wants, but you're not going to deliver ministers or persons like that in an official capacity. And she feels that that is where her party should be now. But there is a struggle going on in that party. And in another vlog, I already told you that it was like a deja vu to me, as if I was looking back at another period where something like that happened. And after that, the party never came back from it. And there is a division in the VVD as well. And I think more than half of them want to form a coalition with the PVV, and supporters and the voters think the same of it. So what do we see in the poll is that the PVV has been growing from 37 to 42. That means that if we would have elections today, they would not have 37 anymore, but 42 seats. And the VVD went down from 24 to 16. And there are other parties who gained a little bit, some lost a little bit. So that is quite a number. And it shows us, I think, um, how divided the party of the VVD is right now, because apparently they have quite a few right-wing people in the party. I think because for those people, it was the only alternative for years and years and decades. It was the only um, alternative on the right. But it is actually a liberal party. But it has already been said earlier on that VVD acts more like a conservative party than a liberal party. And those two are now in a fight with each other. And it shows in the polling. But that is 10 days after the election, so yeah, we need to see how that is when we have gone through the whole process and see where we end up. But it shows that people want change, and people are really, really, really worried about immigration. Immigration, however, is not a Dutch thing. It's not a Dutch problem. It's also not, to a certain degree, it is not even decided on our level. It is decided in the EU. I need to investigate what is EU and what it is that the Dutch people can bring in about it. But it shows that, and we're not talking about all immigrants. When you come from England and you're a doctor, you are very, very welcome. Or nurse, maybe even better. Or from Germany or Scandinavia or any other country here in Europe. But when you have a Muslim background and you have a collar, then yeah, that's the part where we are talking about. And it is a bit weird because we have more minorities in the Netherlands also causing problems, especially the young people. But it is only that group that, in the eyes of Geert Wilders and the like, are causing problems and are criminals and I don't know, whatever they are, or more criminalized. Not that Geert Wilders says that every Muslim is a criminal, but there is a fear going on. And I think that fear is actually not about Muslims or a Muslim background. I think that fear is about the security, the financial security of existence. And that is, since the 80s, has been coming down for a whole lot of people. And we see now that even middle class people have a hard time to make ends meet. And that is new, but I mean, that has been growing through the years. And of course, the fact that we went off the gas is not helping as well. The Russian gas, I mean, we still use gas. It's now burning in my home. But of the Russian gas. It will never be that cheap again, since it needs to come over the ocean, and then it needs to be liquefied, and then it needs to be made gas again, and the whole trip, and well, it just costs more. Yes, I think I had the most important points. I'm very curious to see what is going to happen in the next coming months, because the last one took 10 months and fell nevertheless. Yeah, this is going to be really short or really long. And really short if parties are going to say, well, we're not going to do this, then other parties may try. But because there is such a clear vote in favor of the PVV, in favor of doing something about immigration, in favor of doing something about Muslims, also in favor of an exit, like the Brexit, departing from the EU, also in favor of the line of Putin, less than the Ukrainians, and so on, and so on, and so on. There's a lot going on, and it is not clear where Geert Wilders stands at the moment, because he has said that when it comes to the Islam, he is going to put things in the fridge. And then somebody said, well, you put things in the fridge to keep it fresh and to use it a few days later. And for him, that described Geert Wilders. And I thought, yeah, I didn't think of that. Putting something in the fridge normally means taking it off the table, putting it aside. But yeah, we will need to see how things will go. Oh, one last thing because of that. The leader of the NSC has put in a request for a second scout. I'm not with a different goal. I'm not sure what the scout should do, but at least that scout needs to get deeper into what parties really want, and not just about, well, I look upon. I think that this or that coalition would be best, but going deeper into it. And what the scout now has said is that a second round of talking to each leader of each party will be necessary, which means that he hopes that the report will be ready. It will be later, but will be ready in the week of the 11th of December. And if the parties who should be in the coalition are okay with it, the next phase will start. For more information on that, again, I will put in a link. I don't have, there is a lot I don't have. A good camera, some good lighting, stuff like that. A mic or Mick. And I also don't have anything you can contact me with, but yeah, it will come. I will create at least an email address, and that will be coming up in the next week or so. Okay, well, that's it for me. I hope you liked it, and let me know if it is too much information, or that it is the right information, or that you want to know more, and what it is about what you want to know more. That would help me. Okay, as I already said, I will also make a weekly looking back on it. So you don't need to follow this every day if you want to be kept informed. Okay, thank you for listening if you came this far and watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.